Hello, everyone. I'm Charlie, and welcome back to our DraftKings UCL DFS slate breakdown. Coming off that super entertaining Tuesday slate with a ton of goals, this one going to be a lot different, I'll just say. We've got not nearly as many big favorites. The biggest favorite, in fact, is PSV at minus 200. We had a ton of minus 500, minus 700 slates on that Tuesday slate. So this is kind of a throwback to kind of old UCL where games are a lot more even. There's not as many lopsided matchups to choose from. Like it's just PSV and Liverpool are the only minus, oh, and Dortmund are the only minus odds on the whole slate, and they're not even by that significant of margins. So yeah, super interesting slate on our hands here. No real big teams other than Liverpool and Real Madrid who are playing each other. So yeah, super intriguing. In terms of projected lineups and set pieces, PSV is going to be super lineup dependent. I feel like Noah Lang, who is questionable. Luke De Jong, questionable. Perisic, non-projected. If it's this team here, I think it'll be a Tillman monopoly. Bakayoko might take one or two, but it'd be very one-off. Perisic took last league game for them. However, Tillman wasn't starting. Tillman came on, took a ton of quarters. I think Tillman's probably a lead guy, even if Perisic does end up starting. So yeah, Tillman, I think will be the player, unless somehow Noah Lang makes some miraculous recovery and starts. Same with Joey Veerman. I think he's also injured, but back in training. And then for Shakhtar, it should be Zubkov, and I want to say Sudakov splitting, although it could be Kristev potentially as well. Okay, Aston Villa and Juventus. It should be Tielemans, either Digne, McGinn, or Bailey. All three of those guys take turns being the left-footed option. I think Digne is most likely right now. Juventus, it should be mostly Coop Mainers. Conceição could potentially take one or two, same with Cambiaso, but it's mostly Coop Mainers. Bologna Lille, it should be Miranda, and then either Mora or Illing Jr. or Orsolini on that other side. Miranda does take like this lefty in swinger side like almost every time. And then just whether they go like Illing or Orsolini, both left-footed in swingers on this side, or even Mora righty out swingers. So yeah, they're a little bit confusing, but Miranda will have something. That's the guarantee. And then for Lille, it should be Cabela and Zagrova splitting. Celtic and Bruges. For Celtic, it should be mostly angles. And for Bruges, it should be De Kuiper splitting with Jashari, likely. Even though they're both left-footed, De Kuiper just as outswingers these days mainly. Although we could maybe see him eat into Jashari's side a little bit, but we'll see. Zagreb and Dortmund, it should be a gross monopoly here. And then for Dynamo Zagreb, it should be Batterina monopoly. Liverpool and Real Madrid with Alexander-Arnold still not likely to start. It should be Szoboszlai and Robertson. Splitting Szoboszlai is coming off of that kind of best game he's had in Liverpool shirt over the weekend. Definitely can maybe get going now. And with sets, like he definitely has some appeal to him. However, Trent is back in training, so we could actually make a miraculous recovery and start. If he does, it'd just be back to Robertson and Alexander-Arnold. And then for Real Madrid, it should be Modric and Güler splitting. Monaco and Benfica. Monaco, always a mess. It should be Enrique left back and Bonderson right back, first of all. And then for sets, Enrique maybe, Kamara maybe, Ben Seguir maybe, Aklic maybe. There's no real structure to them. All those guys have taken different points in the season and over each other as well. And then for Benfica, it should be Kochku and Di Maria splitting. Prices, whoops. I was looking at my tickets, leaking them because I hate the new ticket layout, by the way. Just is awful. In terms of prices, Vinicius Jr. is out. Mbappe 11K, Salah 10K. All the Real Madrid Liverpool guys are priced up just because they are the premium teams. So they just get that little bit of extra bump always. Like as we can see, Robertson's up here too, Tsimikas. But I don't love him here. This is a tough matchup for me. I feel like I can get more value from the other games. Liverpool, I don't think should be minus odds, by the way. I think that is a little bit flattering on Arne Slot's side. Like Real Madrid are Mr. UCL. I know they hadn't been playing great lately, but Liverpool's definitely been riding their luck as well a little bit. And I don't know if that's necessarily sustainable. I feel like Real Madrid might actually improve with Vinicius Jr. just because Mbappe has one less guy kind of taking up the space he likes to operate in. But saying that for cash, I don't really see myself playing anybody in that game. I feel like it'll be tight. And I'll just try to get around that by going like a GPP build with like both Mbappe and Salah if the game ends up being high scoring. My dog was jumping on a chair. Okay. Anyone else like here? The guys I'm more tempted by are like Bakayoko, Pepe. Best matchup on the slate. I know it's not crazy favored, but minus 200 still. Best we got here. Bakayoko's always had a solid floor. And if Luke de Jong still isn't as fit and is not even on the bench, Pepe, minutes skyrocket. He's been really good in the league. Some really nice back-to-back performances as the starter. 9,500, not cheap by any means, but I'm still tempted by that. See if Girassi is fit. Perisic, if there's no Tillman, probably means he has sets. I'd be tempted by that. Even with Tillman in, I still wouldn't mind that just because he's a guy who just crosses a ton. Has a lot of appeal for DFS because of that. Lozano, same thing. I just don't think he plays though. He's kind of just out of the team right now and is on the way out anyway, going to MLS. Guys who could play, I'm looking for here. There's just no big names because of the nature of how the slate is. Darwin Nunez at 6K. That could be a tempting way to get to Liverpool. Or Cellini at 5,600. I don't mind either. Anyone else I'm looking at? Man, there's nobody who's really popping out at me. It's a really weird slate. Like Illing Jr., 4K, I don't think is awful. And then like Pavlidis for GPP at 4K, I don't think is awful. Same with Castro. But yeah, just not a slate of big names. This really isn't. Conceição, I don't mind either at 5K. But like I said, there's no real guys I would love playing here just because there's no lopsided matchups, no really big teams. Midfielders. In terms of strictly mids, Tillman's probably the guy for me. Should have Monopoly. He was super on fire last UCL game. PSV definitely have a tendency to steamroll teams. They don't let off the gas once they're up like we see other teams do. So like a Tillman, I love that a lot. He's been 90 minutes every game he's played in UCL as well. Tielemans, he's a little much for me. Di Maria, I don't mind at 7K. Batterina, I think it's a tough matchup. Golovin, like Monaco are just so weird. Aklic, I'd be a little bit more tempted by. He's got a bit of a floor to him, somewhat. But yeah, Monaco are just a mess for sets. So you're not really playing for them. So Grow for 6K, I think is pretty solid as well. Especially if we see no Cabela in. The Grova probably has a larger share in that case. I like that a lot more. Two names at 6K, I don't think is bad. If Gross is at right back, I love that. At center mid, a little bit mad on him. He's set piece reliant at center mid. When he's at right back, he just gets bombs down the line, just flips the ball and cross. Had that crazy game, 23 crosses against Sturm Graz. At right back there, by the way. If we see him in right back again, I'd love that a lot. Otherwise, I don't mind him, but like he definitely can bust super easily just because he's super set reliant in that position. Engels, Coach, I don't mind any of those guys. Ben Sakir, don't mind. All these guys are in similar spots because of the odds. Capella, don't mind. Googler, I don't mind. Bailey, I don't mind. Shovel, I don't mind. I could really make an argument for any of these guys. I think it's a super flexible slate because of how even every match is. Makes picking out locks kind of difficult. Well, then I'm not seeing a ton else there all the way down here. I mean, Kamara, though, 3,500 isn't bad. Defenders, there's quite a few set piece taking defenders on this slate. The Kuiper, the big one, he's a little much for me. I don't love that. I don't mind him. He's just a get there guy, but doesn't have a ton of upside. And you're like a 10 is probably his ceiling. There's going to be cheaper set piece takers that I'm going to get to. But I'd probably just go instead and save the cash in that position. Same with Digne. Like the Kuiper. Been solid for sure, but He had clean sheets in both those games that inflated a little bit. Can definitely do that against Juventus still as well, but once again, 6K is expensive when there's going to be cheaper guys on the slate. Robertson, I don't mind. If we see like Curtis Jones or something in the pocket, Robertson potentially has a bigger share of sets. I think that's the only reason I'd be tempted to really get there. Tayo Enrique, I don't mind 4,500. He usually takes when he plays. I want to say every time, but he's put up some solid numbers when he starts. I don't mind that at all for 4,500. That is cheaper than your De Kuiper guys. If De Kuiper was like 4K with Enrique, I'd be a lot more tempted. But because like Enrique has such a doubt discount on some of those guys, even though he's not guaranteed to take, I like that a lot. Best stuff he somehow started would be nice too, but he's barely played for Benfica. Not a ton else here. But, hey, come on, dog. The one guy I will talk about though, I'm just gonna walk and talk. Oh, I take a napkin in my dog's mouth. Is Miranda. Miranda's been a super solid play every game he's been on. He did not do good, did not do that good last league game just because they got a red card pretty early on. But 2,900, he's not worse than any of the other full set piece taking fullbacks who are above him. So for that reason, I'm absolutely all in on 2,900 Miranda. I think it's a great, great play. That is a core play for me. Then goalkeepers, crapshoot as always, as play fits. A site like this, especially, you don't get behind anyone. In terms of a core, Miranda, Tillman, probably Bakayoko here. That's probably what I do. Get a little bit of flexibility in your defender slots. I could see myself going Enrique over Bakayoko potentially. We'll see how lineups shake out and what kind of value there is. But that'll be it, guys. Good luck, and I'll see you for the next video. Peace.